And of course, you're welcome back. This is surely the pulse here on JoyNews. Your comments, I have loads of them. I'm going to share it with the rest of the world, but you can still send in your comments on the matters that we are discussing. We've had a conversation around the stability of the city and the economy as a whole. We are live on X Spaces, on YouTube, on Facebook, and of course on myjoyonline.com. Your comments are welcome. Now, this particular time, something happened in Accra today. Now, the Accra City authorities, they are vowing there will be no return for hundreds of traders who have been cleared off pavements and other open places where they had been displaying their wares in the last few years. Now, the AMA and stakeholders have begun a 3-day decongestion exercise in the Central Business District of Accra and adjoining city centers. Municipal Chief Executive Alfred Gazy warns the agenda to decongest and clean the city will continue despite the pushback from traders. Meanwhile, there's been misreaction to the decongestion exercise by the Accra Metropolitan Assembly. While commuters welcome the action, some traders are livid.
The decongestion exercise has begun in earnest this morning, some few minutes ago. I will tell you what we've been capturing here in the past 15 to 20 minutes, but if you see there, you see the AMA officials trying to give some education to the traders here. It is more or less like an educational or public awareness drive than what we anticipated to be a bit more combative approach to the decongestion. So the whole exercise started from the Tudu Market area right opposite the AMA office. And we are currently at the Rolling Spark here in Accra, moving towards the Timber Market area. It will be surprising to know that the entire stretch of the street has been swept clean. There are no traders with their wares on the grounds, on the roads as we used to know. On a normal day, when you come to the Rolling Spark area here towards the Timber Market, the entire stretch of the road, both the right and the left shoulders of the road, even to almost the middle of the road, would be encroached by traders with different wares ranging from clothing to foodstuff to cosmetic and anything you can think of. They are serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner all on the road. But as at this morning, the warning from the AMA in the last few days, especially from yesterday, that the exercise would happen this morning, has gotten to the grounds. The traders have swept the street clean of their wares. There's nothing on the street. Let me take you to the other side of the road now, where the task force are engaging someone who has already laid their goods on the street, shoes and sandals, ladies and men's wear. What you see there, they are currently helping the traders to pack the goods into the sacks so that they take them off the shoulders of the road. Some people have packed their things. Why are your things still here this morning?
Me pamocho so mo si yam ebetuma ba che kakra be sedwa me yanko lolo kwano so ne bre che kakra inta me yetumi sedwa no nti sisi aso mo se yanse ni na mfi yanko nti eguso.
You didn't know that this place is also part of the place?
Eni mi say ha kan ho.
Where are you parking to now?
Sisi o mo se ha kan ho nti ebetuma asese akwa akire nti e kosto edikogu watchman na yakofie.
So you are closing for them?
Say almost me and Shedwan say about say any baby I could into movie and cast a bit my shit, so I'm cast into me Shedwan. Fine.
Will you come back later? If you come back, they will come and sack you again. Thank you. What are you selling? And so that's a trader there. My attempt to understand the tree means that she said they've been told to leave the main road, and that's why some of them have decided to put their wares here on the shoulder of the road. But the new instructions to them from the task force now is that even the pavement, the walkway, need to be cleared of every goods. And so she's packing her things back and close for the day. They will go and plead with the task force to know if they'll be allowed back to the place. If they allow them back, they will come back. They will keep coming until they finally settles back again as business as usual. And so that's the situation. Some instructions going to other traders there who are now being instructed to pack their things back again.
Relax. How can you do this? You talk yourself. Is it fair? Is it fair? I can't hear you.
We don't want to challenge you, but they will pick it up.
I'm giving you 3 hours to pick this from here. Thank you very much.
Uncle, what's the issue? What's the discussion with them about?
Oh, they are talking about where we have placed our tables. That's what they are trying to tell me.
Did you get the instruction or the information earlier to pack your things from this place?
Well, they are now coming. Different instructions. This will come, do this. This will come, do this. So there's no any one way. You see?
What were the earlier instructions?
Oh, the instructions was made about 10 days ago.
That you should do what?
We should not come to the road. No, I believe you are not the road. We are not in the road. We are the side. But, if power in your hands, you do it the way you want.
You feel they are treating you unfairly?
Well, I won't talk so much.
Right, so my colleague James Aveji, there you saw him. He's in the studio with me. He's returned from this tour of parts of the Central Business District and also Kwale Klote. So James, describe to us how the place looked like after the first day of the decongestion exercise.
I wish everybody would go on a short excursion to the Central Business.
We actually got our drones
flying all around.
Yeah, we'll see if we can bring that pictures to our viewers.
Very beautiful. The street is calm, clean, and clear of every form of activity. Things we see on the street, from clothing to shoes to cooking ingredients and all of that, have all been cleared off the street. So if you walk through the Central Business District now, two key things will catch your eye. Mm-hmm. There are no traders sitting on the road itself, the main road itself. Mm-hmm. You would notice pavements that are a bit lifted from the usual ground.
Right.
They have all climbed the pavement, which the AMA is trying very hard to get them off the pavement as well. Especially in the morning, that was the push they were doing, because in the morning when we got there, the streets were clean. In the evening of yesterday, we had some indication from some of the traders that they will not barge into this, and so they will continue to trade and wait for the task force to come. The opposite of that is what happened in the morning. They didn't set up on the main road. And so the road is clear as we speak. And the second and most important thing is that the usual traffic we used to experience in the CBD, from the Accra Technical University traffic light, all the way to the Kimbu School's shoulder there, branching to Tudu Road, all the way to Kantamanto. If you take left, you go to Mokola. All of those traffics have been eased now. Cars are moving swiftly. Even though the traffic light, as of today, is not working, those two traffic lights are not working, there is no traffic building up in the area. And it's a beautiful sight to behold. But the big question lingering now is...
No, I just want to find out, where did they go, the traders?
The traders, so they have had to shift themselves and park. They have to park themselves on the pavement. If you go to the Mokola area, those of them who trade, when you are walking from Mokola to the Rolling Square all the way to the timber market, they have all left the road now and they are perching at the feet of the huge market stores that have been built. They are all perching in there, squeeze themselves to that particular location. And so that's where they are now. For those of them who have pavement in the middle of the road, they are parked on that particular pavement. For those of them who have spaces in front of the shops, huge story building shops, they are now parked on those frontals of those shops.
And I also got the information that the MC for Koliklote gives an indication that they may allow the traders to trade twice in a week. Is this something that they have affirmed?
Exactly. So that was the final update we got at Kaneshi, where we went to terminate the entire process. So we did Accra Central at the first batch, and then as at about 10 o'clock, we went for a break, and then they informed us that they will be continuing to Circle and then onward to Kaneshi. And so we came back to Circle and quite some activities. The indication we get from Circle is that they have not had any prior notice to what has happened.
To move out.
To move out. But interestingly, a large portion of the road at Circle have been cleared, except the pavement where they squeezed at. And then we went to Kaneshi, where, as for Kaneshi, they have marked, done some red markings on the pavement.
You're not supposed to.
Exactly, that they are supposed to move beyond, which the inspection of tomorrow will look at all of that to see if they are complying. And then we moved from there. Then we had the final update for the day at the AMA annex at North Kaneshi.
Right.
And so there, the MC for Koliklote constituency, Honorable Alfred Gazy, who we have realized that have been leading this task force hand in hand with the mayor. If you notice the first press conference, he led the press conference, and then the mayor came to finalize it. It was the same thing that happened. Then he gave the indication that what they are trying to do for those at the Central Business District for Kantamanto and then to-do areas, the plan is that they are thinking of giving them some 2 days to trade in the course of the week. For which particular 2 days, they are not yet
clear for now.
And whether they are definite on that policy direction is still not yet clear. We are hoping that by the time we end the 2-3 days, they have given us that they will be doing this continuously for the next 3 days. And so for the next 3 days, it will now be clearer as to whether they will take a final decision on that. And if they do, which 2 days of the week they will be allowing the traders to come back to the street and then trade and go back. And how they plan to make sure that they go according to that in those 2 days.
All right, James, thank you so much for coming through for us. We'll be speaking to the Public Relations Officer of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly when he joins us. But let me bring in Dr. Eric Oduo-Osai. He's a local governance expert, and he joins me via Zoom. Dr. Osai, good afternoon, and a pleasure to speak to you on the pulse.
Afternoon.
Great. So, I mean, this is not the first, obviously not the second, the third. This is like what? I mean, I've lost count of the number of times we've undertaken a decongestion exercise in the Greater Accra Metropolis, and of course, in the major urban areas like Kumasi, Takoradi, and the likes. So, it usually happens in the first term of any government. They take advantage of their newest in office and they undertake some of these things. Sustaining it now becomes a challenge. I mean, you are witnessing what is happening now. How do we sustain this?
Thank you very much. I think that it is about lack of political will and inability of local government authorities to enforce their bylaws to the letter. That is what is bringing us where we are today. You see, local governance is about the local government administration formulating bylaws to manage the locality. And in this case, AMA. AMA have bylaws, and these bylaws are expected to be implemented so that citizens, traders, hawkers will know what they are supposed to do, what they are not supposed to do, where they are supposed to sell, where they are not supposed to sell, so that at least the city will be clean. But in time past, what we have done is that we have played politics with these kinds of things. Going forward, I think that the city authorities must give true meaning to decentralization by enforcing their bylaws. Now, in enforcing your bylaws, you have to create an alternative avenue for these traders to sell. Because the traders pay market tolls to the local government authorities, and they use these market tolls to finance their activities. So what I think the various chief executives of the local government authorities should be doing is that they should think outside the box as to how they can effectively enforce their bylaws and also creating an alternative market for the local economy to thrive so they will be able to mobilize revenue. If they fail to do that, they are failing to allow decentralization to operate as it ought to be. Our main problem as a country is that we play politics with this kind of activity.
You're right.
In an election year, they may not want to sack them. They will wait after election, and then they will chase them. A chief executive may want to chase them out of the street. You will get an order from above telling the chief executive not to proceed. And the way chief executive appointments are, once the order comes from above, the chief executive is afraid. So again, one way out is let us go the hall, let us fight the bullet, have chief executives elected so they can crack the whip and enforce the bylaws to the letter.
Dr. Said, the AMA chief executive says that they have markets that are not being utilized by the traders. They reference the Osu markets and few other markets. And so the traders should just pack their wares and go to some of these markets and work there. Is it a case that as a country, we've over-concentrated development in certain areas to the detriment of the others, such that traders and indeed everybody want to move to a certain direction? The reason why we are having a no solid permanent solution to this issue.
I think that may be one of the problems. But you see, for you to say, for AMA to say that the traders should move to a market in Osu, which is less populated, meaning they may not allow decentralization to work as it ought to be. Because Osu is also under a local government authority.
Right.
And they would have to promote that market. So what they need to do is to think outside the box and create an alternative market arrangement that would clear the streets of these hawkers and traders, and also create an alternative market for them so they can get their revenue. I think that the chief executive might think outside the box. Now, about over-concentrating development in one area, you are right. I think as a country, we should start having a second strategy and a third strategy. A third strategy as to how we can congest the entire capital city and make sure that other local government areas would also benefit from the business that is thriving in the central business district of Accra. And this requires a strategy. So I always say that chief executives are not called chief executives for nothing. They are called chief executives because they have to think outside the box and they have to manage the cities like businesses.
And then they say that they are doing this for 3 days. And then they will leave their men there, hopefully for a week or two. Maybe in July, in August, September, we went back to this discussion where we'll have the place overrun by the traders again. And then another strategy will have to be developed. Public funds will have to be spent on getting rid of them. The cycle obviously will not end. Prof.
The cycle can end if the chief executive, together with the assembly, map out a short, medium, and long-term strategy. And in this strategy, they should carry the traders along. Like I said, they should develop an alternative way of having their bylaws implemented. Development is partnership. So you can't go in and throw them out there. And it is expensive to embark on decongestion. The question then is, who is paying for this congestion? They are going to get money from the traders. So it requires a short, medium, and long-term strategy. And it requires a sustainable effort to make sure that they clear them off the street and give them an alternative livelihood that can help the assembly to mobilize revenue. We should depoliticize these kinds of things. I think that in the past, like I said, we have politicized it, and it will continue to affect us if we politicize it. Take the politics out and let citizens understand that it is in their own interest. It is in the interest of society. It is in the interest of even the people who come to buy their way, for them to be off the street. But this is the alternative we provided for you. And the alternative would also give you the market that you need. Let them understand your strategy and carry them along. But this machoism, this going there to put them off the street will not help, because they will come back. And it is a very expensive venture. I wonder how they are going to sustain it financially. They should continue to talk to them. They should continue to strategize and let the strategy be open so that people can support them in implementing it. And this should cut across the entire areas, urban areas across the country. It should not be only AMA. Same must happen in SCMB, same must happen in Tema, same must happen in KMB, same must happen in Tamale Metropolitan Assembly, and other urban areas. So what it then means is that they have to work with the ministry responsible for local government to develop this medium to long-term strategy so that we can see nice and better cities as we see when we travel outside this country.
All right, I'd like to appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Dr. Eric Odosai is a local governance expert, and he also joined us with his expert advice on this particular matter. Now, Gilbert Ankra is a public relations officer of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly. He was on the streets today. He's back in the office, reflecting on the day's event. So, Gilbert, your assessment of how today went. And if you can unmute for me, Gilbert. Right, so let's see if we can bring in the public relations officer of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly about today's exercise and how they are hoping to, progress into the next day and then the weeks and months to follow in terms of dealing with this matter. Let me see if I can get the attention of Gilbert Ankra. Mr. Ankra, good afternoon.
Hello?
Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yes, so I was asking your assessment of how today went for the AMA.
Thank you for the opportunity once again. Today's exercise for the Mayor, Honorable Michael Pakualote. The exercise was very, very successful. If you look at what happened, especially with traders on the streets, we were able to move them on the street. And for us, it has been very, very successful. We deployed 156 officers to kick off this very exercise. And the main purpose was very, very clear, to ensure that trading activities, especially on the streets and on the pavement, were clear. Just as we've said, today's exercise began as early as 4 a.m. The mayor himself supervised the deployment of the officers, and the targeted areas were within the Kimbo Street, and they extended through Mokola, CMB, the Circle, and then the Kanishin area. Kanishin was quite fantastic. If you look on the footbridges, none of the traders are on the footbridges, and the entire street, the entire area was cleared. And for us, you can see the free flow of traffic. Right. We are quite hopeful that the traders will continue to adhere to the directives, and the mayor has assured that all interventions he has decided to put in place in the coming days, we are going to roll these ones out. Right.
So the traders who hitherto had, adopted the pavement as their trading area, after moving them, you left them on their own, or you directed them to move their way to a specific place to trade?
Well, those of them who were cleared from the pavements, the assembly is looking at redemarcating these pavements so that at least we will be able to reposition them. What we normally have is that a lot of the traders, they pack more of their wares. For instance, if you are selling you are selling a shoe, you have them bringing that particular one item. They have a lot of them displayed, and we are telling them to desist from some of those things. We will come back and then redemarcate the pavement so that a lot more of them will be able to have some areas to trade, whilst pedestrians will also have some areas to be able to move about their daily duties.
All right, Gilbert, thank you so much. Let's leave it here for now. I understand that this is This is ongoing for the next 3 days. People will do a proper analysis of it and then find out how long you hope to keep your man there to ensure that they don't come back to the very place that they've been taken off today. Thank you very much. Gilbert Ankra is the Public Relations Officer of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly. You can join us with your questions if you have, whether you are certain that this will be the final time we'll have traders competing with vehicles in the business district of Accra.